So when I say you're not supposed to like MF Doom, I'm not saying you're not supposed to like MF Doom's music, I'm saying you're not supposed to like MF Doom, the character himself. MF Doom is a villainous character who is extremely selfish and constantly seeking power, and these characteristics over MF Doom's career has sort of started to align with MF Doom himself in real life, Daniel Dumal. Some of the things that he has done have sort of aligned with what MF Doom's persona in the music does throughout his stories, and it creates this very interesting relationship between the fan and the artist himself, and the fan slowly understands that their input, their likeness towards this person who could potentially be their idol is non-existent to the artist himself, because the artist is not someone that you're supposed to necessarily enjoy. So first it's important to look at how this Doom character came about. So Daniel Dumal, aka MF Doom, started his career with KMD, a hip-hop group that started dropping music throughout the 80s and into the 90s, and they started to get a little bit of buzz throughout songs like Peach Fuzz, and they were slowly coming about until unfortunately Sub Rock, which is MF Doom's brother, died in a car crash, and they were immediately dropped from their label. Their album Black Bastards was shelved at the moment, and MF Doom was forced to live in benches and be homeless for a few years until he was able to come back through hip-hop using the MF Doom character. Now when Doom was dropping music as Zephlop X and KMD, he was rapping over more soulful beats, his subject matter was a lot more positive, and he was really just trying to make it seem like a positive impact with everybody that heard his music. It never really seemed like this Doom character that we're so aware of now would ever be able to come about with how Zephlop X was rapping and his subject matter back in his KMD days. But as soon as a hardship hits you and your brother dies and hip-hop just pushes you to the side and really wants nothing to do with you, why would you come back to this genre in a more positive manner? It makes no sense. The entire Doom character was based on the fact that once he puts on the mask, you don't know anything about him, about who he is, about his past, about what he's going through. All that matters is the music. And that is a very interesting relationship that Doom creates. It is someone that you don't like, but the music itself is so good that you almost feel the necessity to go back to their music, even if you 100% know that the person that's making this music might not give a single fuck about you. And some of the villainous things that he does include sending imposters to his shows when he feels like he's not receiving enough money, his constant mentions about how he doesn't really care about hip-hop, that it's something that he does just so he can get money, and above all, the musical aspect of his music. Doom's flow is probably the most important part of his music, and he set the bar to what an off-kilter flow was supposed to sound like. And this off-kilter flow that he created really split a lot of fans. Even fans that really love lyrics can't really get into MF Doom's music because of the way his flow is. Nothing that MF Doom gives you is very easy to digest, and this is something that may become a hassle to some fans because you really have to take your time with it and give it a lot of chances before it finally clicks and you start to realize how unique and creative his music is. So looking at it from the hindsight, Doom is a person who doesn't show up to his shows, doesn't really care about the genre that he's making music in, and has such an acquired taste that it can really frustrate fans, and it isn't anything that, looking from a non-fan standpoint, is something that you want to involve yourself or even like. But even as a huge fan of Doom's music and you understand it and you like the acquired taste, he still creates this relationship that you're not supposed to like him. In the song One Beer, he says, "I plant shows like robberies, in and out, 1, 2, 3, nobody's pleased." Like, imagine if you're a fan of MF Doom who's shown up to his show and you stayed until past midnight because he stays really late for his shows, and then you see someone come out and it's not even him. You just wasted your money and just wasted your entire time, and you have to constantly listen to that line over and over again because it is one of his best songs. He has a similar line in the Victor Vaughn album, Vada Vada Villain, where he says on Saliva, "Phony MCs use a stand-in, leave him hanging like I ain't know where his hand's been." And it really seems like his sole purpose with these kind of lines is just to piss off the listener, piss off the long-time stans who really understand his music. And in the intro of the Venomous album, he's literally telling you how he hardly spent any effort on this album, how you shouldn't buy it, and the only reason why he really made it is so he could have his advance. So all of these factors are things that the regular listener doesn't really like, but MF Doom fans understand that their overall existence doesn't really mean anything to their artist, and that's something that they're okay with. And maybe that's because, at least I'm speaking for myself here, I don't think fan input should at all be a factor in an artist's music. When you look at artists like Weezer, when you look at artists like Eminem, I feel like they've been ruined because of their fans and their input and the fact that they want to cater to everybody that hears their music, and that overall ruins the authenticity of the music. Before every artist was ever known, they created what they wanted to when nobody else was looking around. And the fact that they made the music that they wanted to, that's what gave them all their fans. So that's something that you should bring to your album every single time. And that's something that MF Doom does because his fans don't really mean anything to him. All that they mean to him is him paying his bills. After that, he doesn't want anything to do with them pretty much. So you see a lot of criticisms for Doom, for sending imposters to his shows, for not really caring about hip hop as a whole or the culture, and overall the very weird and extraneous persona that he has created that not a lot of people understand and they kind of bash. But overall, all those things have nothing to do with the music, and that is the exact reason why Doom puts on the mask and created this character, because he wants you to look at just the music. Everything outside of it doesn't matter. So you can question why it is that people are so in love with this very weird guy who doesn't really seem to care about his fans and does a lot of things that a lot of people may not be fond of, but that is because MF Doom's fan base is made up of people that simply care about the music, and everything else is just miscellaneous to them. That's all I gotta say. But let me know what you think of MF Doom. Let me know what you think of his persona. Let me know what you think about his music. Does it affect you of what he does outside of the music and the way you listen to him? And yeah, please like, please subscribe, and I'll be with y'all very soon. Peace.